Everyone who grows indoors is gonna ask themselves this question at some point in their life. What grow light should I buy? Recently, I found myself asking this question, and I did what I always do. I jumped on YouTube and I got lost there for about 20 or 30 hours between the span of about a week. I did a lot of research. I learned a lot of different things about PAR testing and efficacy and about how grow lights might advertise one thing, but in reality they're another thing. I took that information that I learned and I was able to make an educated decision on what grow lights I wanted to buy. The verbiage used in a lot of the YouTube videos out there about grow lights talk about, efficacy and micromoles per joule and wattage and all these different things. I don't want this video to be like that. I want this video to be easy to understand, tell you what I like about this light, tell you what I don't like about this light, and hopefully help you make an educated decision on if it's a light that you want. The new lights have been delivered. Let's go ahead and open them up and I'll tell you why I chose the ViparSpectra XS1000 Grow Lights. All 6 of these lights are the exact same, so I'm gonna go ahead and open the first box and show you guys what comes inside. This isn't an unboxing video, so let's just go ahead and get it open and I'll show you what comes in it. These lights come with 2 little bags of wire hangers, and this is pretty much standard in any grow light you're gonna find, even the cheaper ones. What does not come standard in cheap random grow lights you'll find on Amazon are the little height adjustable hangers. I honestly don't know what they're called, the height adjustable hangers. And these are what you hang onto these, and you can adjust the height with these, and they're really awesome. When I had my King LED, blurple lights, I had to buy these separate. And so I have a ton of them, but I had to buy all of those separate from the light. So it's pretty cool that these come with this grow light. You've got your power cord. I forgot about these 2, they also come in the box. This is pretty much just a little card. If you're happy, they want you to go in and leave a review talking about how happy you are. And then on the other hand, if you're not happy, they want you to discreetly send them an email so nobody knows you're not happy. That's what that is. This is the user manual, user instructions. The main thing I want to talk about here is when you get this, make sure you look on the back of it, because this is going to tell you, so right here I've got the XS1000. This is going to tell me the height above the canopy I should have this set, and for how many hours and for what brightness, depending on the stage of the plant. So that's definitely important. Don't forget that when you're looking at the instructions, because realistically the light is kind of self-explanatory, so it's not something I really need the manual for, but this is definitely going to be important for a lot of people. And you've got your grow light. My initial thoughts when I opened this thing up is I had heard it was pretty heavy duty, but I was pretty surprised with how heavy duty this really does feel. It just feels solid. The silicone that they have here, just everything feels like it's well built. The adjustable dimmer, everything just feels like it's put together really well, and that it's a higher end grow light. Normally a light that's labeled at the end with a 1000 is going to be a 100 watt light. The XS series from ViparSpectra is a little bit different. The 1000 actually gives you 120 watts. I hooked this up to a watt meter of my own and it held true. ViparSpectra claims that it is 120 plus or minus 5, which mine was pretty much right on the dot at 120, which is really awesome. Normally with the small lights like this, you just get the 100 watts, and the extra 20 watts really does make a difference. This has a 2.5 foot by 2.5 foot vegetative grow area and a 2 foot by 2 foot for the flowering stage. I wish this would have been a little bit more closer to 3 foot by 3 foot for vegetative and 2.5 foot by 2.5 foot for flowering. But with the price that these lights are and the wattage that you're getting, it's kind of a toss up. For me, it was worth it to go with this light just for the extra wattage that it gives you. The very first thing that caught my eye with the XS series is the internals that come within the light. And without getting too much into detail, these come with the LM301B diodes. And what that is, the actual lights that are mounted on this, they're called the diodes. And a lot of companies will use some lower end diodes, and they don't give out as good of light. With the XS series, you're getting the top of the line lights. The next thing is the driver. The driver is what actually gives the light the power. And if you skip out on the driver, it's going to affect the longevity of the light. It's going to affect the light that's actually being produced from the light, and it can really ruin a light if you have bad diodes or a bad driver. This has the Meanwell driver, and the Meanwell driver is, once again, top of the line, one of the best you can buy on the market, and they didn't skimp out on that either. So with the XS series, you're getting top of the line internals, and that was a huge selling point for me. You would be surprised at how many really high-end lights are for vegetative growth only, and they're not full spectrum. A lot of people, apparently, they just want to get their starts going indoors, and then they want to move their stuff outdoors, so they pay a lot of money for some good vegetative stage only lights. Not the case for these ones. These are a full spectrum light. They're going to give your plants the light they need for the entirety of their life. So seedling stage, all their vegetative growth, all the way up to the flowering and fruiting stages, this light is going to give them the light that they need. The design of this light is pretty awesome. It runs completely silent, which is new to me because my blurple lights are so loud you can hear them from the kitchen when they're all the way across the house. With these, they're different. They run completely silent, and what they do to get rid of the heat is they have these fins that run down the side of the light, and those fins dissipate the heat. They call it a heat sink, and I've had these lights long enough now that I've been able to see that heat sink in action, and these lights do not get hot. I actually used to rely on my blurple lights to heat my grow tent in the winter, and these aren't doing that. So there's almost no heat coming off of these. So now I've had to find other ways to bring up the temperatures in my tent because my lights just aren't doing it anymore. But that's a good thing, because what that means is the cooler that they're running, the better they're gonna work, the longer they're gonna last, and it is a very good thing. I would much rather have to find other ways of heating my tent than to rely on the lights. So super awesome there. The lights run really cool, love it. Viparspectra boasts a 100,000 hour lifespan. To me, that's kind of a lot. I don't know if it'll actually last long, but either way, what that tells you is that they are confident that this light is gonna last a very long time. Like I mentioned earlier, Viparspectra added a silicone layer over the diodes, and that's a game changer because the Mars Hydro lights that I was looking at, those aren't waterproof at all. So if I wanna go in and spray down my tent to bring up the humidity or something, I have to be really careful not to hit those lights because they're not waterproof. These are at least water resistant. You can spray down the tent, not worry about getting your light just a little bit wet. To me, that's huge. That was another huge selling point between this and the Mars Hydro that I was looking at. The dimming function on this light is amazing. A lot of the lights, you can dim it down to 5%, but it doesn't turn off. With this one, you can dim it all the way down to 5%, and then you can keep going and it shuts the light off, or you can turn it and bring it all the way up to 100%. When you're turning it, it feels really smooth and it just kind of glides along, and it's a really nice knob. Some of the other lights that are dimmable, you have to go in with a screwdriver and dim them. It's not the case with this one. You just turn the knob, turn it up and down. It has a nice indicator on it that tells you what percentage you're at. With my blurple lights, I didn't really have that. I just had to move them up and down in order, like when I had my seedlings, I had to move them up really high. So that way the seedlings weren't getting too much light. With these, I can just keep them at the same height, and I can just bring that brightness all the way down rather than moving the lights around. So that's a huge plus for these. This comes with a 3-year warranty and a 30-day money back guarantee. That's pretty cool. I mean, I didn't get that with my King LEDs. I'm pretty sure I bought them and I was just on my own at that point. I paid for all of these lights. Viparspectra didn't send any of them to me, but I did reach out to Viparspectra and they did give me a discount code that I can give you guys. So if you're interested in these lights, go down in the description below, look for that discount code. These are really awesome lights, guys. I'm not being paid to tell you guys they're awesome. I bought them with my own money because I wanted them, because I did the research, and I don't regret that decision. And I will say, when you're looking into buying grow lights, you definitely want to check a couple places. So for these lights, I looked on the Viparspectra page and I also looked on the Amazon page, and the prices were different. And depending on the coupon codes that you have and the discounts you can find, you can normally get it on one of those cheaper than the other. So I'll put links down in the description for both of those places, but definitely shop around and make sure you're getting the best deal. A huge seller for me was just the looks of these lights in general. I was this close, that close, to buying the Mars Hydro light, but just the looks of that, the flimsy, aluminum hood and the big giant sticker and the lack of the silicone, to me, they just look like cheap lights. That's not the case with these lights. The looks of these lights are heavy duty, top of the line, sleek, nice, just really awesome looking lights. They don't look like a kid's toy. And to go along with the looks, with the Mars Hydro lights, they have that hood, and what that hood is gonna do is it's gonna direct the light straight down. So if you're growing outside of a tent, Mars Hydro might be good for you. I mean, it's gonna direct that light straight down if you don't have reflective material around to bounce that light around. But with the XS1000 light from Viparspectra, you don't have that hood. And so what happens is that light shoots out and it's going to bounce off the sides of your tent or whatever reflective material you have, and you're gonna get the most out of that light. Because in a tent, you don't want it to go straight down. You want it to bounce around a little bit. And that's another reason why I went with the Viparspectra over the Mars Hydro. Some of you might be asking why I bought 6 of these lights for my 4x8 tent rather than just buying 2 of the bigger lights that would cover the same space. When I grow, a lot of the times I'm not using my entire tent, or I'm using my big tent, but then I'm doing a different project in my little tent, or I've got part of the tent that is growing stuff that is fully mature, and then I've got another part of the tent that's growing seedlings. I wanted to have freedom to kind of move around a little bit. So with the 6 lights that I have, like right now I have plants that have 100% lights on them. Well, in the next week, I'm gonna have seedlings coming up, and I need those seedlings to have 10, 20% light on them. And I wanted to be able to section off my tent a little bit, and over here I can grow my fully mature plants. Over here I can grow my seedlings, and I don't have to worry about one getting not enough light and one getting too much light. I can also take these lights and put them into my other tent, which is a 4x2 tent. It just gives me freedom to move around and adjust my grow how I want to grow. I won't be held down by just having 2 big giant lights in my grow tent. When I bought this light, it was only a few dollars more expensive than the next tier down, which is the P series from ViparSpectra. And to be honest, those were the first ones that caught my eye. And when I saw them, you might have seen pictures of them before. I'll post a picture. But these lights are bright green, beautiful, beautiful looking lights. I wish that the XS series were the green ones. They don't have quite as high quality internals in the P series. Like I said, when I bought them, they're only a few dollars different, so that's why I opted for the XS series. Depending on what the prices are right now, definitely look at the P1000 compared to the XS1000. Look at the prices and make your own decision. If you're going off of looks, P series looks cooler than the XS series, I'll admit that, but the XS series has higher end materials, and that is the only difference. The P series is also a 100 watt instead of a 120 watt. That is a seriously good budget light that will do all the growing you need. So if you can't quite splurge for an XS series, go for the P series. I would still choose a P series over the Mars Hydro and a lot of the other makers. I'm already seeing really good results from these lights. My plants are loving them. Honestly, when I first put them in, I just put them in at 100, and my plants got pissed off because they're not used to that heavy duty of a light, even though my blurple lights were in there and they were used to those. This light is a lot more powerful, so I had to dial it back a little bit and adjust, but these lights have been just killing it. My plants are doing great, they're happy, I'm happy, no doubt about it, I made the right decision. And now you should go watch this video here where I talk about the top 5 grow tents on Amazon. I highlight some different sizes of tents. One of the tents is the one that I'm currently using. Love the tent. I would not make any other decision about the tent that I have currently. I love that thing. So if you want to see a video about my top 5 grow tents on Amazon, go watch this video. You won't regret it.